This is for the king, like status tier list. It's more like so player inflicted statuses. It's like more intended for what's it called? Like combat, I guess overall. But I don't think I have everything here, but I have a lot of like the most main ones. And we'll just get started with armor up. Actually, I'll probably just explain the tiers actually. S is like a must have. A is like pretty good just to have. B's like average. C's like it's okay. It does something, but it's like probably not that good. Maybe like more like early game related. And D is like it's not good, but if you have nothing else but you can do, might as well use it. It's an effect anyway. And I was just start. I guess we start get started with armor up. Some of the icons are from the old game and some of them from the new game. But let's start with armor up. I'd probably say armor up is like probably like a C, and like overall, like I think it's good. It's decent early game. I think it like scales like throughout the game. I don't know how it scales actually. I think it's either based on level. I'd assume it's based on level, like rather than gear. I'd assume it's based off level. 'Cause I know it can scale up, but early game it can like give you a nice little boost. I guess yeah, it's a good early game. It gives you a nice little boost for the armor and make you a little bit tanky, taking a little bit less damage, which is good. And then maybe later in the game as well, when you don't have like the perfect gear yet, you can still like armor up until you get that really good gear you're looking for. Like it's not bad. Like it's always kind of useful, but it takes up an action, so it's like not great. Like you have to use it. You have to use an action. Also, I'd probably recommend using like you also recommend using taunt with it. Like if you're not using taunt with it, like it's pretty bad to use. Like you have to use it. You actually have to use taunt with armor up, or you're just wasting on an action for no reason. That's probably like why I think it's like more C tier. Like you have to pair it with another like effect to even get good value out of it, and it's not too strong. Like once you have really good gear, at some point it just becomes completely obsolete. So I probably yapped too long. Attack up, I would probably say this is like I'd probably just say this is A tier. Not really individual attack up, more like a group attack up. Group attack up is definitely like A tier. It just basically just boosts your team's damage, which is just always good. Like I wouldn't say it's like a must have, but I'll say it's just always good. Like if you have it, use it. Like it's good. But I wouldn't like release like be like the end of the world of not having it. It's like not like fully needed. Like I say it's definitely good, especially if you have a group. I'd recommend using group. I wouldn't even really use individual in this like very specific situations. But group is very overall really good, especially like if you use like a support character or something, or someone doesn't do a lot of damage, you use them to support your team. Bleeding. Low-key bleeding is kind of mid. Like I guess it's okay early game. I'm honestly with this like C. It does do damage, but dude, it just takes so long to proc that damage. Like you have to wait like 2 turns just for it to proc the damage. It does do a lot of damage, but it takes 2 turns just to proc it. That's a lot of time. In combat, you really want to do as much damage as possible. That's why I don't think it's too good. Like overall, like it just takes too long to proc for like what's its value worth. Like it does damage, yeah, but you have to think about like how much more damage could you be doing with other status effects in that time period waiting just for bleeding to proc? Probably a lot more. And also, and yeah, for the king as well, and for the king too, you really on your turns, you just want to do as much damage as possible and kill things really quickly. So I think bleeding's just kind of mid. Like it's like it's decent for early game, but I feel like later in the game, or yeah, maybe against a really tanky boss, and you want to take a lot of turns to kill it. It could be good, but like, why would you use bleeding when you can just use burning? Like burning is, I'd say burning is probably like either B or A. I feel like it's, and I'm like underrating it, but like it's okay. Like it's good. It's just basically extra damage, basically. Like when you burn a creature, is they just take they just take a little bit of damage on their turn. So it's basically just a little bit of extra DPS, which is nice. I'd say it's B or A. I'd say like overall, like if it's just a main attack on your weapon, and you proc it, it's pretty good. So it's just extra DPS. So I guess I could say A tier, but I think it's just extra DPS. I'll just put it B. I'm confused. This is a hard one. I need to think about this a little bit more. Um, Confused is pretty good. It just makes them do random stuff. I would just say it's B tier. It's just an average middle of the road. It can do good things to you. It can do bad things to you. Like it's just random. Like Confused is basically just RNG. Like you can make them skip their turn. They could just attack you still anyway. Like it doesn't really matter. It's confused is nice to have. It's kind of hard to trigger though. I think it triggers mostly from bombs. I don't think it can trigger any other way from what I've seen. But confused is pretty good to inflict as well, especially with like bombs and stuff. Like it can make them like skip their turn and stuff, or like do stuff. But overall, it's just like more like a mixed bag. Like it's good. Like if you can you can proc it, it's pretty good. It doesn't do too much, but it's just random. It's just rolling the chance for them to do something bad. Um, I count cure as like a side effect kind of. Like you're curing other side effects. I probably put cure as A tier. Like you don't really need cure. Like it's good. Like if you have it, might as well use it. But you don't need cure, and you can use like purify scrolls, panaxes, and just or just tank the damage if you really want to. If you're really down that for that, or like use if you're playing normal mode, use like an in or something. Like I mean like a cleric, whatever the fuck it's called. But like if you have, I definitely use it if you have it. Like it's a good effect. I wouldn't say it's a must have, unless you maybe are doing like higher like endless mode or something. But it's definitely a good side effect to have if you can have it. You know, it's worth having it. Cursed. This shit is absolutely awful. Like it's good on you, yeah, but on enemies, after the enemies die, they're not gonna have it anyway. It's not like it's affecting them for the whole run. Like on you, this is a pain in the fucking ass. But on enemies, it sucks. You have to like roll like I don't know how many times you have you have like talent, luck, speed, intelligence, strength, vitality. You have so many stats. You're basically rolling a dice, hoping like I think it's like -25. You're basically rolling a dice to hope to give the enemies a -25 on one single stat that use the primary stat. That's just too inconsistent to be even good. It basically does not exist. Like I've used it a little bit. It just doesn't exist basically. Like if like you can use it, like yeah, you can use it if you have nothing else to do, and it's like the best thing you can do. But like it's just not good. It's just too inconsistent to proc, and even so, it's thinking like -25. So it did good, I guess, but getting it to proc is like impossible. Like on the right thing you want. I think this is meant to be stun, I think. Let me check. Let me check on my things. I have the abilities here. Do I have days already? No, I think I have stun. This is meant to be days then. When is the target unusable? Um, I think this is like a B or C tier. It's okay. I feel like it's alright. I don't know if I should put a B or C because I feel like it's just meh, like top of C or like low B. Because like days, like all it does is get rid of the second action, which is like better on you than it is on them. Like on them, but not a lot of creatures use their second action. The only thing they can really do is move, I guess. They can either move or they can throw a bomb or something if they're like that sort of like things. Like some of the enemies can throw bombs and stuff like that. But most don't use secondary actions. Like most of the creatures do not use second actions apart from movement and throwing bombs. From at least what I've seen so far of playing. So I think it's just not that good. Plus, anyway, it doesn't even matter anyway because like I swear half the enemies in this game already have immunity to dazed. So even if like almost enemies that are annoying as fuck, you have to make them wet first, then to trigger daze on them. That's just two things at once to trigger something. Like that's just a pain in the ass to do. Like that's just frustrating. Like you just to trigger days, just make them not be able to throw a bomb. They can still attack. They can just not throw a bomb or something like that. Like most creatures have the immunity to dazed. So even if you have a good situation to proc it, there's just a good chance they're immune to it anyway. So you have to use it wet to even get rid of that. So I just don't think it's too good. It's just a pain in the ass to proc. And I guess it's like not the worst. Like it can provide value against certain enemy types. That's it. And also, if they're not immune, then that's quite okay. That's pretty good. But if they're immune to it, you have to do two extra things just to do the same for the same reward, which is kind of annoying. But um, entangle. I think entangle is probably like I'm trying to think what situations. 'Cause I feel like bombs are more threatening overall. I think entangle is just hmm. I think it's C tier mostly. I feel like early game it's really good there. Like, cause you can also entangle things like with like what's it called? You could like let's say if your party is not like all like really consistent on hitting like max rolls, like they have like high weapons with like high rolls, and you're fighting like an evasive enemy, you can actually entangle the evasive enemy if they're not immune to entangle, and make them lose their evasive. That means you can hit attacks them easier, which I find that really like helpful earlier in the game. Like you can just have like a low roll and tangle, hit that, and all your other allies can hit like the enemy way more consistently. I wouldn't say it's like really strong. It's just nice convenience. But also are times where they're also immune to entangles. It's not the greatest. But I'd say it's pretty decent, like early game at least. Also, if you do move around the party of the little crook thing, like what it is called, like you can like push, shove, and things. Let's say if you like move the enemy in the back, you can entangle them. But like also at the same time, like you don't really need to do that. You can most of the push and stuff is already built in with dazed and stun, and even so, dazed and stun does a better job anyway instead of entangle. So because if they're in the back row, they can't even use melee abilities. Well, actually, I don't know what I said to that. Like, if they're entangled, they can't use melee abilities anyway. So I guess you can entangle like them and they can't use melee, which is good. Actually, now thinking about it, maybe I'm overrating it. Maybe entangle is really good. Yeah, I think yeah. Actually, no, entangle. I'm moving up entangled. I'm gonna move it B tier. I forgot about the like you completely negate all melee attacks. Like there's like really strong melee enemies in the game, and if you can entangle them and like stop them from attacking, that can help you save a lot of HP. So I think it's like a B tier. Probably maybe better than confused, honestly. Yeah, I think in some situations, I think I'll put it above confused because confused is just more RNG dependent. I guess I'll put entangled up here actually. Now I think about it more, like entangled can be really good in some situations and save you a lot of HP. So I think that's pretty good. Next up, evade up. I think evade up is like probably like the high C, or no, or maybe like low C, but above armor up. Evade up is definitely better than armor. Evasion is, in my opinion, arguably way better than armor and resistance. It is harder to like build up on, and if you don't like it's not as consistent, I guess. But evade up is just good in general because you could probably use like evade up and hermit grass combined with already a high evasive character and have like an evasive tank. Because I feel like evasive is more consistent than because it covers evasive covers both armor and resistance attacks. Like it covers both magic and physical just for one stat. So if you invest high into evade up, you can probably can just dodge everything. And if you have your character positioned in a way that they're out of the way, like AoE, like out of the way of AoE from all your other characters, that means your other characters won't take any AoE damage, and your evasion tank will just tank, like dodge every like AoE attack basically, and then keeping your party safe basically. Because like the issue of like armor resistance, if they use an AoE attack anyway, if they use an AoE attack, it's gonna hit the rest of your party behind the blacksmith, or like behind the drinker guy, the alcoholic. I forgot his name, like Freya or something. But if you have like an evade up character, you can have them just like I mean I guess the same could be applied for armor. You can have them like far away. But the point is like I don't know, like you want them to be actually no, I guess the point can apply for armor as well. But I feel like evasion overall just is just better than armor and resistance. But I could be wrong on that. I think they're all pretty close, but I think evasion is just better. Frozen. This just does more damage, like to it's like 25% more damage to the target that's inflicted by it. It's okay. If you can use it, like might as well. But I don't think it's like I think it's more good against bosses, honestly, which I guess it could be pretty good. Probably above confused in my opinion, actually. Yeah, I'd probably say like over above confused. Like it's like decent. I feel like like at some point in the game, like you probably could just trigger burning or something and do a lot of DPS anyway. The Frozen could be good against like a really tanky boss, and you can like do like you can make your party do like way more damage against them. Like you need a lot of damage. But the thing of most bosses is they don't usually it's not really just a single boss. Like they usually have like you need more AOE against most bosses because they have like a lot of minions they summon. Like most of the bosses in the game, from what I've versed so far, has just have a lot of like minion spam basically. So it's not really like you're fighting a really big tanky guy most of the time. But if you are, I guess Frozen's pretty good in those scenarios to do a little bit of extra damage to it if you like your whole party. I think Interrupted, I think this is an S tier. S tier for Interrupted. Like this is a must have. I feel like this is one of the best aspects in the game. It's also really good because on the weapons you can use it on, I'm pretty sure it's like the loots. The loots you can do splash, interrupt, and do like pretty decent damage of it too. So you're basically doing AoE damage, which is pretty good. It gives you extra DPS, you like extra damage to your team, which is nice, and also slows them down, giving your team even more time to do more DPS. So it's just really good. It's just a really good ability. Like I like you should if you have this, you should always play it. It's so good. And then PS is also an S tier. It's either S or high A. I say S tier overall because like some bosses like have really like it just goes through armor or like resistance. So let's say if like a boss has like really high armor or really high resistance, you can just use a piercing weapon like a piercing weapon on like for that condition, and then you can just do full damage. Let's say like a boss has like 10 maybe armor, like 15 armor, whatever. You can just use piercing and you get the full damage. You don't lose any damage, which is nice. But yeah, it's mostly used against tanky enemies, so it's like always a good like. You always want to keep a weapon with it on. Like it's a good effect. I guess it's not really counted as a side effect, but I'm just gonna count it because it's just that useful. So and then poison. Um, I really think poison is like probably a top of C or like low B. Because I think it's just 20, it's 10, no, it's 10, no, why is it 20? It's 10% on every roll, basically. Like, they lose 10 on every stat. And they do a bit of, I don't think it procs instantly. I don't think it's like burn. I think it takes one turn to proc. Let me double check if it shows. So I didn't include everything, but, where's poison at? I swear it takes a turn to proc. So increase the stats by 10 different skills, and inflicts 2 damage on every turn for 3 rounds. Is it instant like burn? I actually didn't know. I thought it wasn't. Is it? Wait, I swear it takes a turn to activate. Maybe it doesn't. But it stops skills from activating. I think it could stop distract. I was trying to look online, but I couldn't find anywhere. I think it could stop distract, which distract can be very annoying for your party. So if you're gonna stop and distract, I guess it's pretty decent. Also lowers their like all their rolls by 10%. Basically, like they lose 10% of their stats, so it makes their rolls a little bit harder, and they take a little bit of damage, which is nice. I think it's probably a really good early game. I guess it could be good late game. But late game, you want more damage, I guess, and like more slowing. Like you want more like just doing damage, because the faster you kill something, the less damage you'll take. So if you can kill everything in a turn, then they won't even need to like have that 10% debuff. Plus, also there's a better effect that's way easier to trigger, and is pretty good compared to poison, in my opinion, which does this like same thing as poison, because poison doesn't do a lot of damage. So it's like 2 damage. It's only 10% rolls. Like damage. I don't know. It's decent. I'd say it's probably more useful early game or mid game to get like better weapons, but I wouldn't say you stick with poison forever. And then protect. In terms of items, I think you can use a mead if that's what it's called, like a mead to give yourself like protection, which is good. That is pretty good if you can pop it, because you're free like just free immunities on attack, like similar to like Steadfast. But I'm talking about like in terms of more consistent stuff. Like you can have a mead, yeah, that's pretty good. But I put protect D tier, because what's the point of proccing protect? Let's be honest. If you're proccing protect as a primary action, you're just wasting your primary action. Like you can pull the mead for a secondary. That's good. You know that it protects you for a turn. Yep, or like 3 turns basically, if until you take damage. That's good, but the issue is at this point, like you're basically like you're wasting a turn just to protect yourself. Like it, and it's only for one attack. It's not for all attacks. It's just for one. So let's say if this is using taunt with a protect, cool. You protect yourself for one attack, but then you have to somehow block all the rest of it. That's just not a good effect. It's just really bad. And also if they have AOE, lots of the enemies do AOE in this game as well. If you use protect, enemies do all AOE, and then the rest of the enemies can attack you anyway. So what's the point of protecting? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like the only time you should ever protect if you want to pop up mead, nothing else. If you're popping protect, you're just wasting your action for like no reason, which is just stupid in my opinion. Like you want to kill the enemies, you don't want to just delay like nothing basically. It's just not good. On purify, this is S tier. I think purify is absolutely S tier. Honestly, I think it's just, yeah, I think it's low S tier. It basically just it's just good. It just stops like all the effects on the field. So if, like it was just say like a boss or something, there's like of like fire blast or something or a firestorm, whatever the fuck it's called, and someone's like fire on the field or like you get a bunch of confusion bombs or like you have like all the tiles basically spammed with effects. You can put like a purify scroll or something or like something like that to purify everything, which just stops those on the ground. That's nice. If any of your party is like poisoned or like anything currently has a debuff, gets rid of all the debuff. So that's good. Also, if they're cursed, if you're like no Hagsbane, or if like your whole party's cursed by like a party curse or like I don't know something like that, you can just pop a purify scroll and it'll purify them from the curses and like this negative side effects. It's just really good. Like I've had times where, like my whole party's just been cursed and like they got like I just keep the curse on them. And I just pop one purify scroll like I got for like ages ago and just kill all of them from their conditions. It's just so nice. It's just so good. Your next set of resistance up, it's basically the same as armor up. I'm not putting up below armor up. Okay, for like I feel like there's more. I feel like physical damage is more like there's more physical damage than resistance in my opinion. Like I feel like most resistance damage, like most enemies that use magic, are usually buffing characters or AoE characters rather than a single target. Like some do single target, yeah, but I feel like compared to like physical damage, I feel like physical damage hit way harder and do so much more damage than like magic single target in most scenarios. So I feel like resistance up is just a bit worse than armor, like overall. Next is rushed. Um, I feel like it's good. It's never bad, but like I guess early game, like if you have an item, like early game items, you can find like rush. If you have like a really bad character, like a really bad like matchup, like let's say your magic character like going against like really high resistance enemies, you can just group rush or something like that, and like you can like group rush. That's pretty good. But the issue is with group rushing is like you can't do damage. Like I'm just gonna like I actually don't want to put this just yet, but I'm just gonna explain. Rushed compared to interrupt is like interrupt is so much better than rush in my opinion because interrupt does, you can also do damage in interrupt. Like there's a lot of things that do. It does AoE, interrupt. You do damage and you slow the enemies down, which slowing the enemies down boosts your party being even faster to take more attacks. Basically, rush basically does the same thing as interrupted but worse. Like interrupt is basically the better rush in my opinion. Like rush just does interrupted jobs but like worse and like no DPS. So I'd say it's like a B or A tier. Like it's good. But I would say like if you're interrupted, you would always use interrupted like any day of the week over rushed. So I don't really know how to play. So I feel like probably like middle B. Because I feel like frozen, like even late game, you could probably use frozen like on like a boss or something, like in some certain scenarios. I feel like once you get interrupted, rush becomes completely obsolete. Like it's just good until up to that point. So that's why I think I'd put it in here because frozen is definitely good for boss fights. Like you can use this in boss fights. I can see like times this would be like applicable even late game. But this just gets outclassed by interrupt. Like once you get interrupt, you don't not need to rush anymore. So then it's shocked. Shocked is probably like S tier. I think it's second like an S tier. Shocked is so good throughout the whole game. If you get an early game, your early game's gonna be so much easier, less healing. Late game, it's gonna be so much easier too. Like Shock just basically all it does is, but the character like enemies have to use focus, or they miss the first roll of their attack on it basically every time, which is so good. And enemies can use focus, but not all of them. Only some of them can. So basically, what this means is they just do less damage overall, and they can fail rolls. This even comes better into play when you have like a big tank. Let's say you have like a tank with like really high armor, and then you have like a person with shock attacking them. It makes it even more unlikely for that shock person to break through your tanks like defense. It's just such a good ability. Like you should always use shock. Like no matter what. Even early game is so good. Like game is so good. It's just good overall. It's really good. In addition to this, it is better on like lower like skill check weapons. So against like the big tank, really big tanky slow guys with like really like 6 vitality check skill weapons, like 5 strength skill check weapons, it won't do too much. Like it'll still do a little bit. Like it'll still impact their roll a little bit, and it can like save you from taking a lot of damage. But it's more impactful when there's like little shorter rolls, like let's say like the 3 to 2 like rolls. It's way more impactful on those. But it's still impactful like nonetheless, on no matter what. But So like ideally you'd like want to shock the guys who move faster and have like less attack rolls, and then you want to slow down like the guys with really big damage attack rolls, like overall, like ideally, and then it's like a really good combo. Speed up. I feel like speed up is really bad. It's like I feel like it's just like why would you ever use speed up? This also applies to everything else as well. This applies for I'm gonna apply. Oh, this is okay. I'm gonna use speed up. I'm gonna apply everything else, right? Speed up. This will apply speed up, speed down, and all the attack like beat up, debuffs like defense down, resistance down. I'll just explain everything. Speed up. Why would you want to? Why do you want to increase your speed? Like you already have rush as an option, or you have interrupt to increase your speed. Basically, you have rush to increase your party movement, like your turn order. You have interrupt to dictate your party's turn order and also your damage. Speed up. All it does is increase your speed. Like it doesn't move you on the timeline. Like it just speeds you up. It's just not good. You're using a turn to speed up your party, and also your party should be fast anyway. Like your party should be naturally fast, because if you're going slower anyway, you're gonna take so much damage for no reason, and you're gonna waste even more time just to speed up your party to keep up. Like what's the point of that? That just seems so counterproductive, like counterintuitive. Like if you don't have a naturally fast party, you're just gonna take damage anyway before you can even proc speed up. So what's the point? And why do you speed up when you have rushed or interrupted? You like, there's just no point. Same with armor. Like you have armor down, evasion down, resistance down. Why would you do that? You have pierce. You have pierce. Why not just use that? And I think you have other things like I think entangle maybe can stop dodging. Yeah, I think entangle can stop dodging. I think. So you have stuff like stuff like pierce stops armor. You don't need to do any of that other stuff. You can already pierce through with armor. And even no matter how high armor they say, even if they're like 26 armor or some shit, you use pierce for that. No biggie. Why would you ever use any other debuff for that? And you also have entangle, which I'm pretty sure can stop evasion, like dodging. So if a creature has high evasion, you can just entangle it if it's really that much of an issue, which it shouldn't be. Then you have stun, I think it's called. Let me see. Yeah, stun. Stun is good. Stun is definitely good. I feel like you can't. I don't think you can trigger AoE stun. Otherwise, that would definitely be meta. Like if you had AoE stun, you could trigger that every round. Basically, you basically just stop them from having a turn. So it's usually single target, which I think is good. I think it's either A or S tier. It might be high A tier. Because the thing with stun is like against like you can stop like a really big threat. Let's say like a really big tank. You can just stun them and completely negate their turn, which is good. The only actually I might put it down a bit. The only issues with stun is most enemies are immune to stun. So you get to use wet to even use stun in most cases, which is just two actions to get one benefit. So I think it's like I think stun is just not. I think stun is good, but it's just because most creatures are immune to it anyway. So I think it's gonna move it down a bit. I think I'll move it. Actually, I think I'll put it below attack up. Maybe cure actually. I might put it low A tier. I think stun's really good. I just like if everything wasn't immune as immune to it, then I'll probably put it higher. But since everything's so immune to it, I'm putting it lower. Like I probably put it top A tier, low S tier if things had less immunities to it. But like most enemies are immune to stun. Like a lot of them are. So or in days immune to stun in days. So you don't apply wet to them to even proc it like most of the time. But against those big tank guys, like big tanky damage dealers, like they do just like tremendous amounts of damage. Stun can be pretty good against them if you can proc it. So and next we have I forget what this one's called, taunt. Oh, like how did I forget what taunt is? I always think taunt's like a hand. Like taunt makes me think of a hand. Taunt is definitely S tier. This is like probably like oh my god, this is hard to decide actually. These are the top three. Taunt is really good. Like, you should always run taunt every game. Yeah, I put taunt like third. Taunt is so good. Like you should always run a tank character, and if you are, you always have to run taunt. Taunt's so good. You basically save your party from taking lots of damage. You reduce damage because you have a tanky build to like block on the damage, like soak it up, take less damage, block the damage. Taunt's good. You should always have taunt. It just helps your party stay alive way easier. Use less god spirits and stuff like that. Taunt's the best. Like taunt's like one of the best. Interruptor is definitely by far the best because if you can stop enemies having 10, like you can reduce them having 10, which is good. Shock can just make enemies do less damage. Same with taunt. Taunt like just you make them target your good build. Like I wouldn't say it's as good early game, but later in the game it just scales up so nicely and it's like a must-have. But and then we have wet. I think wet is like just probably. What's the good name? Honestly, I think top wet is like high. I'm gonna move burning up as well. I feel like burning is better than wet in most. I feel like burning is better than days. I think burning is up here. I'd say wet is like probably better than that. Yeah, I think that looks better. Basically, wet is like only good against creatures that have lots of resistances, but a lot of creatures do have resistances in this game. But I'd say like really heavy, like heavy creatures that take a while to die and have a lot of immunities. Wet is really good for. So you should always have like a character that can apply wet to those sort of like enemies that have a lot of immunities that can be a pain in the ass. But overall, listening to tier list, I might have forgotten a few like sort of this stuff, like sort of the trades and stuff. But I think I yapped for like way too long. Yeah, like 31 minutes. That's crazy. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to disagree with me because I like this is like my tier list, so it's my personal experience, and I'm not the best at this game, but this is what I think overall. So I hope you enjoyed. Was I have my voice like picked up that well? Anyways, bye.